Did you know that 70% of people report feeling overwhelmed by their emotions at least once a week? And, shockingly, only 1 in 5 people truly know how to regulate their emotions effectively. In fact, most people don't realize how much their emotions impact their happiness and relationships. If you're struggling to manage your feelings or find yourself snapping in stressful situations, you're not alone, but there's hope. Emotional regulation is the secret to living a more peaceful and happier life. Healthy people don't just control their emotions, they understand them, embrace them, and know how to use them for personal growth. In this video, we'll explore powerful, proven strategies to help you master your emotions, whether in a heated argument, at work, or even in those quiet, private moments when you feel overwhelmed. You'll discover simple but life-changing techniques like mindfulness, self-compassion, and reframing that can drastically reduce stress and improve your relationships. Stick with us, and by the end, you'll know how to transform emotional chaos into a tool for success and happiness. Ready to take control of your emotions? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: The Art of Emotional Mastery. Unlocking inner calm. Emotional mastery isn't about controlling emotions but understanding them. Healthy people don't let their emotions take the wheel. Instead, they learn to manage them. The first step? Mindfulness. Mindfulness helps you become aware of your emotions without letting them control your actions. Research shows that practicing mindfulness can reduce stress and increase emotional resilience. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that mindfulness increases self-awareness by 52%. When you feel anger or anxiety creeping in, pause. Take a deep breath. This small act of breathing can instantly activate your parasympathetic nervous system, reducing the intensity of your emotions. It's a strategy that's backed by science. The power of the breath is simple but effective. Another crucial element of emotional mastery is emotional intelligence. People with high emotional intelligence can recognize their feelings and those of others. They don't react impulsively. Instead, they assess the situation and respond thoughtfully. According to a study by Talent Smart, 90% of top performers have high emotional intelligence. This is a clear sign that emotional control plays a huge role in success. Learning to label your emotions is also part of emotional mastery. It might sound basic, but identifying how you feel allows you to process emotions properly. For example, saying "I feel frustrated" instead of "I'm mad" gives you clarity and helps in managing the feeling effectively. Emotional mastery is a lifelong practice. It's about being aware of your emotional state and taking proactive steps to regulate it. Healthy people don't let their emotions run wild, they make emotions work for them. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss out on more tips for emotional well-being. Chapter 2: From Reacting to Responding. The Power of Pause. Often, in moments of stress, we react rather than respond. Healthy people understand the value of the pause. They know that taking just a few seconds to step back can transform a reaction into a thoughtful response. This simple pause is powerful. It can prevent saying something hurtful in the heat of an argument or making a hasty decision at work. Research from the Harvard Business Review reveals that taking a short pause before responding improves decision-making and prevents regret. When you pause, you give your brain time to shift from emotional thinking to rational thinking. This is known as cognitive reframing. Essentially, you reframe the situation in a way that makes it easier to handle. For example, when facing a stressful meeting, rather than seeing it as a threat, you might reframe it as an opportunity to showcase your abilities. One method to train the pause is through counting to 10. It sounds simple, but it works. When you count to 10, your brain slows down and lets you approach the situation more calmly. It's a technique that has been shown to reduce impulsivity and promote better emotional regulation. Healthy people also tend to practice active listening. When you actively listen, you're not just waiting for your turn to talk. You're engaging with the speaker, understanding their emotions and responding in a way that acknowledges their feelings. This practice can transform relationships and improve communication. Incorporating pauses into your daily life is crucial for emotional regulation. It helps you stay grounded and respond, rather than react, to challenging situations. The next time you feel yourself about to react impulsively, take a deep breath and count to 10. It might just be the key to your emotional mastery. If you've enjoyed this chapter, don't forget to subscribe for more. Chapter 3: Love is a Mirror. How healthy relationships reflect emotional balance. The way we regulate our emotions doesn't just affect our own happiness, it influences our relationships too. Healthy people know that a balanced relationship is built on emotional regulation. One of the keys to a strong relationship is empathy, the ability to understand and share another person's feelings. According to a study published in Psychological Science, people who show empathy in their relationships are more likely to experience satisfaction and happiness. In relationships, emotional regulation helps us to avoid emotional flooding, the overwhelming rush of negative emotions that can take over during conflict. When you're emotionally flooded, it's hard to think clearly or respond calmly. Healthy couples learn to recognize when they're flooded and take a step back before continuing the conversation. Taking a break can be an effective way to cool down and return to the discussion with a clearer mind. Another emotional regulation technique in relationships is positive reframing. Healthy people focus on the positive aspects of their partner's behavior, even during disagreements. This helps shift the focus from blame to understanding. For instance, instead of thinking, "My partner never listens to me," you could think, "My partner may be distracted, but I can calmly explain what I need." Positive reframing reduces emotional tension and fosters connection. Communication also plays a huge role. Healthy communicators use I statements rather than you statements. This avoids sounding accusatory, which can escalate emotions. For example, instead of saying "You never listen to me," try saying "I feel unheard" when we're in the middle of a conversation. This simple shift helps regulate emotions and promotes understanding. Ultimately, healthy people understand that their emotional well-being directly impacts their relationships. They strive for emotional balance, not only for their own sake but to nurture strong, lasting connections with others. Embracing empathy, positive reframing, and communication can create a more harmonious and loving relationship. Want more relationship tips? Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Chapter 4: Feelings Are Guests. How to welcome, not own your emotions. Emotions can often feel overwhelming, but healthy people understand that feelings are temporary, they are like visitors, not permanent residents. When you acknowledge emotions without becoming attached to them, you can manage them better. This concept comes from the idea of emotional detachment, a technique where you experience feelings without letting them define you. Research has shown that emotional detachment can help reduce anxiety and improve mental clarity. One powerful strategy is to label your emotions. When you name the feeling you're experiencing, it reduces its intensity. For example, if you're feeling sad, simply saying "I feel sad" can provide relief. Studies in the journal Emotion reveal that labeling emotions lowers brain activity in areas associated with stress, making it easier to regulate your response. Mindfulness meditation also teaches that emotions come and go. Practicing mindfulness helps you stay present with your emotions without judgment. Instead of thinking, "I shouldn't feel this way," you accept your emotions as they are. A study published in Clinical Psychology Review showed that mindfulness helps lower stress and increases emotional regulation by 58%. Another technique is self-compassion. When you are kind to yourself during tough emotions, you reduce the tendency to spiral into negativity. Research from Dr. Kristin Neff, a leading expert on self-compassion, suggests that people who practice self-compassion experience greater emotional resilience and better well-being. The key is to remember that emotions, while powerful, do not define you. You can feel sadness or anger without letting it take over your life. Just like visitors, they eventually leave, and you are still in control. Chapter 5: The Silent Language of Self-Care. Nurturing your inner peace. Taking care of your emotional health doesn't always require big gestures. Often, it's the small, daily habits that make the most significant impact. One of the most powerful self-care strategies for emotional regulation is physical activity. Exercise has been proven to boost mood, reduce stress, and regulate emotions. A study from the Mayo Clinic found that 30 minutes of moderate exercise can decrease anxiety and depression by 40%. Equally important is sleep. Healthy people know the value of a good night's rest. Sleep has a huge impact on emotional regulation. According to the Sleep Foundation, Poor sleep can increase emotional reactivity, while good sleep helps improve your mood and decision making. In fact, just one night of sleep deprivation can result in higher levels of anger and frustration. Another self-care strategy is journaling. Writing about your thoughts and feelings can be a great emotional outlet. A study by the University of Pennebaker shows that expressive writing helps people process difficult emotions, leading to improved mental health. Journaling can also give you clarity, allowing you to recognize patterns in your emotions and how to manage them better. Healthy eating is another cornerstone of emotional well-being. The food you eat directly affects your mood. Nutrient-rich foods, like those high in omega-3 fatty acids, have been shown to improve brain function and stabilize mood. Studies have found that people who eat a balanced diet have better emotional regulation than those with poor eating habits. Incorporating these self-care strategies into your daily routine will not only help you maintain emotional balance but will also give you a sense of inner peace. Healthy people understand that self-care is not selfish, it's necessary for emotional resilience. Chapter 6: Transforming Triggers, Turning Emotional Chaos into Growth. Every person has emotional triggers, those situations that make us feel angry, sad, or upset. But healthy people know how to use those triggers for growth. Instead of avoiding triggers, they face them head-on and transform them into opportunities for emotional learning. This concept is called trigger transformation. The first step in transforming your triggers is to recognize them. When you feel an emotional reaction rising, ask yourself, what's causing this? This kind of self-reflection allows you to identify patterns in your emotional responses. According to a study in psychological science, self-awareness helps reduce emotional reactivity, allowing for better control in challenging situations. Next, it's important to reframe how you see your triggers. For example, if a certain comment from a partner always makes you upset, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of seeing the situation as a threat, try to view it as an opportunity to practice patience or communication skills. Cognitive reframing, a strategy backed by years of research, allows you to change your perspective and reduce emotional tension. Another way to transform your triggers is through emotional exposure. This technique involves gradually exposing yourself to situations that trigger your emotions, allowing you to desensitize your response over time. This strategy has been proven effective in reducing anxiety and emotional overreactions. Research in the Journal of Clinical Psychology has shown that exposure therapy can help individuals better cope with emotional triggers. Finally, developing a growth mindset can change how you approach emotional challenges. People with a growth mindset believe they can learn and grow from any situation. Instead of seeing triggers as obstacles, they view them as lessons. This shift in thinking can make a significant difference in how you manage your emotions. According to Dr. Carol Dweck, a growth mindset is key to overcoming setbacks and building emotional resilience. By embracing your emotional triggers and using them as stepping stones for growth, you can transform emotional chaos into a powerful tool for self-improvement. Healthy people don't fear their triggers, they face them with courage and use them to become more emotionally strong. If you've enjoyed these strategies, make sure to subscribe for more practical tips on emotional well-being.